Okay, this is a little video about how to do the bow stroke at the beginning of Prelude and Allegro. So as you can see in the first two measures, every note has an accent. And then you see the word simile written, and that means to continue in a similar manner. So basically, every single one of those quarter notes up until the andante section has an accent. Now, as the phrase goes on, the accent or the amount of accent may not be exactly the same the entire time, but there has to be an element of an accent through on every single one of those notes. You can't just blatantly not do an accent. So let's just kind of talk about just the accent in general. Practicing it for intonation and for the shifts, I wouldn't do any accents. I just play it flat out legato with a drone. And I have a separate video for that. Just, use the drone. But practicing for the accents. So we have legato. If we're just playing the first measure as just sustaining through the sound. I think it wouldn't hurt to practice that whole section at the beginning just with a true legato on every single note, sustain the sound. Now, a staccato or like an on the string martelé stroke has some similarities to an accent in that you have to dig the bow in the string a little bit at the beginning, and there's a little speed at the beginning. So there's a dig, you have the consonant sound, the k sound, and then you have to speed the bow. The biggest difference between if we were playing this martelé as opposed to accents is generally the beginning of the stroke in martelé would have a little bit less of the consonant sound. So a little bit less of the k. It'd just be not as much if you were doing martelé. And if you're doing accent, you're going to do more. And then on a staccato, you would play the beginning, and then you'd have to stop the bow before the next note. There would be a space before the next note. So if we were just doing staccatos, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to practice that. So you're getting that cuss sound, which is from digging the bow into the string, putting weight in the string. See how I can wiggle the string, not making a sound? That's the weight. After you start the bow, you get the weight at the beginning, and then you let it go, and then you stop for staccato. Sorry, that sounded awful. This is not my violin. Okay, then to make the difference of the accent is the accent, you start the note very similarly. It probably would technically be started with a little bit more. But then, and you do the fast bow, but you're not going to stop. You're just kind of decaying into a slow bow. So I'll show you in an accent, in a staccato, you move the bow fast and then you stop. But in an accent, and there's a decay, but you don't actually stop the sound. So it wouldn't hurt. And what's trickiest is when you're doing it in an up bow. The down bow is easy, but then when you're out here at the tip, getting that little punch. Wouldn't actually be a bad idea to practice like that. 1, 2, like half notes, almost 2, and just practice keeping the bow going after you make the stinger. Oops, I totally missed that note. Keep the bow going. See how you make the stinger and then you keep the bow going. Keep the bow going. Keep the bow going. And then what's tricky is you got to get the sound the same on the up bow and the down bow. So another way you could practice this is start up bow. Oops, I didn't play it as strong as I did in a down bow, so then I'd have to practice. And get it to where you could, if you made a video or a recording, a voice memo, not a video, a voice memo of yourself, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference if you were doing down or up because it would sound, the sound would be the same. You know, and then when you actually play the piece, what you don't want to have is where you're stopping the bow. That doesn't sound beautiful. And then, you know, there are parts of the... I still did it, just way less. And, you know, there's parts as the phrase goes down and gets less intense, you're going to just do it less dramatically.